I was doing some research on you. You've been doing this for a while, certainly, and have just such a huge portfolio of work under your belt. And in a previous interview, you had said, and let me pull this quote up here, you talked about cinematographers being chameleons. I think that was in the Londoner, the SW Londoner. You had mentioned that quote. You even remember saying that. I loved that quote, and I wanted to start right there because I think it really it lends to your overall philosophy of what cinematography is. So, cinematographers are chameleons. What does that mean to you?
I think being a cinematographer, one has to embark on each project fresh. And one of my sayings is you try and forget what you know, so you do start fresh as a virgin. And you can forget what you know, but you can't unknow what you know. So it'll come back to you as because of your experience. So as far as being a chameleon is concerned, I embark on every project, often with new directors, and even with directors I've worked before, that you're one, as a cinematographer, you have to be malleable and be able to pursue that particular project and what comes off the page and work on the designer, costume designer, the director, producers, writers, and the actors. You have to fit in with that, and still within that wonderful collaboration of all these people, that you produce what you want to produce, but it's falling into what the whole piece is. So there is always an ego to do. I pretend I don't have an ego, but there is always an ego involved because we're all human beings, and therefore you're going to impart what you know and your own experience, knowledge, and input, and in collaboration with other people. So the chameleonness of it is that you will adapt and put on a new coat, and not entirely shed your coat, but you'll put on a new coat, and that coat will see you through this project. I've just worked with two new directors. I'm embarking, if we're starting prep today, on a new film. That's a whole new director from a new project. So again, I'm shedding a coat and putting on a new coat, and that's very exciting for me because you don't rest on either laurels or things you know or think you know before that moment. So you have to start fresh, and that's what I really mean by it.
Well, what do you think about the idea that a cinematographer kind of brings their vision to a project? The cinematographer maybe has their own particular style. Do you think that is a detriment to cinematographers to have like a specific style to them?
No, I don't. I think it's very valid. I think this our natural, as saying just now, the what I call ego, or our own upbringing, experience, knowledge, input, and feeding off the director, writers, and what comes off the page and the locations. You impart your own style into that, and I think if you look into most of my work, they probably will, although I might deny it, there probably is a thread of a line of a style within that, whether it's camera movement or a type of light. But you sort of don't strive against it. I use that to develop and learn, and every new story has a new look. But I know there will be looks within each film I do that you'll be recognize. I think same with directors. I mean, most of the directors I admire. Most directors. One of my things is that most directors make the same film over and over again, and they can't help it. It's just the way it is, and it's natural because we're all who we are, and you're in life experience. You're going to when the chips are down, you can tell a story. You're going to tell a story in your own way. So. I think the same for us as cinematographers. In fact, I once said that. I did a couple of films with Stephen Frears, and I said to Stephen, who's one of the directors I admire, I was lucky enough to work with him at the time, I said, one of the things I admire about you is that you don't make the same film. I made that quote about directors making the same film over again. I said, with you don't. They're always different. And Stephen said to me, dear boy, if you look very carefully, you'll see that I do.
And who is it that you said that to?
Stephen Frears is the director.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, so he was saying that if you look closer, I do?
Yes. And I think it's the same and that's like a very long time ago now, but I think that you can't help it, because although you might employ different cameras, different style lights, I work with different gaffers and people around the world all the time. So there's always those influences on me, and I'm learning all the time. So those people come in sideways, left, upside down, and turn me around, hopefully. But you're still going to eat when the heat is on, in the heat of battle each day, you're going to fall back in some way or other on something you know. And that's inevitable as a human being, that that those things come through. So, like in say, for example, the LA Story, Maneskin George, Perks Being Wallflower, Pressures, Gosford Park. There are Count of Monte Cristo. There are beats within those, all of those. I'm working with different set of parameters, different locations, different directors, different stories. I think within those you will see inevitably telltale signs.
Yeah. And I mean, all of those films you mentioned just have such a distinct look about them, where it really does feel like, it almost feels like you could look and just, I don't think you would assume it was even the same cinematographer behind all those films. And I think that's really a testament to your work, is that you do allow for kind of a new look, a new feel. It's fresh every time.